Okay, we are live.
Yes, Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year.
Hello,
Keep
everyone. Please let us know where you are tuning in from. We see some people from California, New Mexico, Austin, Texas, Milwaukee, the Twin Cities, Tennessee. So if you're coming in, and even if you are watching this on the replay, go ahead, drop a comment and let us know where you are tuning in from.
and we want to wish you guys a happy new year. We're so excited for the credit kickoff. Um, we just want to make sure, can you guys hear us? Do y'all hear us clearly? Let me know if y'all do. Give us some feedback. I'm going to check the feed myself to make sure that we are streaming properly, because sometimes it depends on how the live is going. And do us a favor, if y'all can give us a thumbs up on this live so it can get to other people. And if you know anyone that needs to work on their credit, um, feel free to share the live with your friends and family. So I'm going to just make sure. Yep, we're coming in good. Okay. All right, we're doing it. What it do? Um, Real quick, I'm gonna. Yep. Okay, we checking the sound, and the sound is good. All
Okay.
right, you guys, it's for our credit kickoff. And for the agenda for our credit kickoff, we're going to make sure we keep this efficient as possible, because we know if those of you that come in to watch the replay after, we want to make sure you're able to get this information and digest it really quickly without wasting your time. So if you are joining us after and you missed this, make sure you submit your question in the chat and I'll be able to respond to it. And so the agenda for this month, everybody have the new year. It's a new you. We want you to focus on your credit and lock in for these next 30 days, because our agenda is for you to get 100 points in the next 30 days. So, what we will do is give you some tips on how you can achieve that in the next, from starting today, the next 4 weeks. Okay. So we also have a Facebook group, absolutely free for you guys. You can join. Diamond, did you drop the link to that for them, the group?
Yes, I will be dropping the link right now. So we have a brand new Facebook group. It is specifically for the credit kickoff, where we're going to be having discussions. You guys can ask your questions in there once the live is finished, and we'll get to those questions. And we want to have everyone introduce themselves, and we can get to know each and every one of you guys and stay in touch.
And if y'all have questions, that will help you ongoing. Now, one thing you want to keep in mind, I want you, if you're in this challenge, the number one thing to help you attain your goal for 2025 when it comes to your credit or increasing your score, you need to make sure that you guys, number one, set your goal. What is your goal? Okay, so you can achieve it. In the second part, what is the time that you need to complete that goal? So if you're looking to buy a house in the next 90 days, the way you're going to approach that to increase your credit score is much different than somebody that has a goal to buy a home by the end of the year in November. Okay. So, we number one need you to set your goal in the time frame in order to help you efficiently increase your credit score over this next 30 days. So identify that and set that goal for yourself. Then the second part, we're going to give you tips and tricks to help you increase your score. But keep in mind, you do need to know what is your current credit score and what is your personalized issue with your credit. A lot of people will tell me, hey, my cousin was able to fix their credit and it only took them 90 days. Your cousin issue might not necessarily be your issue. If your issue was that you filed bankruptcy and you had a number of accounts, your situation may be more in depth than your cousin who maybe just got a charge off. You see what I'm saying, you guys? So you want to make sure you know your exact issue. And if you don't know your issue, it is important that you figure out and analyze what is your credit problem. Because I'll give you an example. We have people in the group, they had this one particular person. I knew them personally. Their credit score was 580. They, in their mind, had some financial issues previously that was really, really problematic. Let's put it like that. It was a really hard financial downfall. But I told them, look, it can't be that, because I knew their experience and it was over 10 years ago. So I said that shouldn't be holding your credit down. It has to be something else. And so when they joined the system, I was able to look at it. They had perfect on time payment history. Their problem was utilization. So I was able to tell them to pay certain credit cards down by a certain date. And in 30 days, that person went from like a 580 credit score to their score being a 829 credit score. Okay. It's that serious. They actually had over an 800 credit score, but it was utilization and they had to pay their cards a certain way. So within that 30 days, they can get their score up. This is a very financially savvy person. They run businesses, but they did not know what their issue exactly was. So another big issue that we're seeing in the group. Some of you guys that have those student loans, Navient have just been hit by the CFPB. They had to actually change servicers if you have that student loan servicer. And through that change, through moving over to another servicing company, I've been finding in the group certain people credit scores dropped, and it was only with one particular bureau that their credit score dropped, and it was like by 100 points significantly, like 180 100 points, 80 points. And what we were finding out what was going on as they begin to transfer over those student loans from Navient to the next company, they were actually removing and deleting some of their past payment history. So we had to go through their account, and that was the issue going on with that mysterious drop to their credit score. So some of you guys, if you had those student loans, that can be some of your issues. They might have not added all your on time payments. So I'm just saying your issue may be different from somebody else, and they were able to take the steps to get that rectified. Okay. So if you need help, I do have my elite credit system. And so with that, it analyzes your credit, and then you can create your disputes. And I do my coaching every Saturday. If you have an issue, sort of kind of like what I described, and you can't figure out what's going on with your credit, I can go through your report and help you figure out what's going on with your credit score. Another big thing, some of you guys, we had some people that actually have really good credit scores. They couldn't figure out what happened. This one particular person went out and got a car, and unbeknownst to them, once they had good credit when they went in, over a 700 credit score, then they checked their credit again. They got the car, but one particular bureau was down by 75 points and they could not figure it out. And when we went through it, what happened, that dealer shotgun one of their bureaus, whatever, I guess, dealer that they were working with. Some of the lenders pulled for one particular bureau and they pulled maybe 11 times shopping that loan around. And so that person couldn't figure out what was going on. So we had to go through it, and that was their issue. So please keep in mind, when it comes down to hard inquiries, if that happened to you, you went to apply and get a car loan, a lot of times they will shotgun your credit. Okay, y'all. So keep an eye out for that. You might end up on one bureau having 22 hard inquiries and it just tank your credit score. Okay, so those are little nuances that you might not actually see. So if you need my help, it's very important. I can help you get to the bottom of it, but joining the elite credit system, I can see with the software maybe where some things are going on with your credit. Okay, so we're going to get started with the tips. So number one, remember, you need to know what your goal is and your time. When do you want to achieve that goal? All right, because some of y'all is saying, oh, I want a home. Newsflash, you guys, you only need like a 620 credit score to get a home. With FHA, you don't really need a really high credit score, but there are certain things that the banks don't want to see on your credit in order for you to be approved for that. So, open like charge offs and things in that nature, you need to deal with those issues, or even some collections. You need to deal with those kind of issues for you to get qualified for that loan, but you don't need a really high credit score. So identify what your goal is and how soon you want to reach that goal. So that's number one. The second part, if you now understand what your goal is, what's your starting point with your credit score? Okay. So different credit scores need to take different approaches. If you're under that 700 credit score, I tell you guys all the time, we can add on some trade lines and we can help you get your score up. If you have a 700 credit score and above, there's a different approach. Age of credit become very important. So you want to be careful on what you're adding on. You have to add things on the right way, or you can see your score drop. Okay. So I want you to also know what all three of your credit scores are before you start, because depending on where where your starting point is, your approach is going to be totally different. So let's focus on your 5 areas. So understand your credit is just nothing but your financial report card, just like back in high school. All right. Certain subjects had higher effect on your GPA or your report card. So just like your credit report, when it comes down to the biggest chunk of your credit report in that scoring, is going to be payment history, how you paid your bills in the past. Second biggest is going to be utilization. That is debt to available credit. Okay. So this requires, in that category, you must have some kind of lines of credit, revolving credit, i.e., a credit card. Okay, you guys. So if you a person that don't have any credit cards because everything got charged off, you need to work on that area. It's 30% of your credit score. And so these two areas alone make up 65% of your credit score, the biggest chunks of your credit score. So if you're failing here, just like in high school, you need to bring these grades up. You need to do some extracurricular, so that's where you want to focus on. After that, age of credit, that is 15% of your credit score. And that's going to really matter if you're that person with that 700 credit score and up. You don't want a lot of new accounts, okay? New credit card accounts, and adding a ton of those will bring your score down because it goes on your overall age of credit. Any new account that you add on, it will decrease your credit score because it reduces your overall age of credit. And then you have mix. So they want to see your mix of credit, how you handle multiple accounts. Can you handle a real estate account, credit cards, and can you handle a car loan? They want to see how do you handle various accounts. That's 10%. And then 10% is new inquiries. So are you shopping for credit? Because the way they look at it, if you're shopping for credit, why aren't you getting approved? So that's where those hard inquiries can really bring down your credit score. The way the banks look at it, why are you getting denied? Why are you keep shopping for credit? If you got all these hard inquiries, either you're getting denied or you're desperate for money. You're in a financial strain, a financial situation. So rule of thumb, you don't want more than 6 hard inquiries in 2 years. Okay? It's a red flag to them. So you want to be aware where you're having problems. If you have that low credit score, it's going to be in one of these categories. So one of the tips, number one, let's try to focus on payment history and utilization. Because if everybody with a 700 credit score or even scores under 700, if you work on these two categories, you can see an increase in your score. So number one, you can use certain trade lines. So if you're under that 700, what you want to add on are trade lines like credit cards according to your credit profile. So you can add different credit builders. If you're a person with a 580 credit score, understand you don't want to go to Chase. Understand you're not going to American Express. They don't cater to subprime credit scores. You can find other companies that may be open to you. We all don't like them, like Credit One Bank. Some of those are subprime lenders. Capital One could be a starting point with Quicksilver if you have lower credit scores where you can be approved. But we do know if we have lower credit scores, then that might lead to a higher interest rate. So if you don't want to get those higher interest rate credit cards with those small credit lines, you might want to start off with a booster. So you might want to add on a revolving line of credit through a fintech company, okay, to help you increase your credit score. So things like Ava. So Meet Ava is one of those credit fintech companies where they can report a $25,000 line of credit, like it's revolving. So what that would do, you are not going to get denied primarily for that off of your credit score. They don't take that in account. But what you do is have that subscription and they report a line of credit. You can't go out and buy clothes with this line of credit. What they do is let you pay your subscriptions, like your Hulu subscription, certain other subscriptions that you may have, Netflix, and they take the money out of your bank account and pay that off for you using that credit line. Now, by reporting that on your credit report, if you're under that 700 credit score, you're going to see an increase on average of 50 points when that report. So by using something like that, you might can skip over those predatory type of interest rate cards. So if you're at that 580 credit score, instead of you going for a Credit One bank card, if you add on a revolving line of credit like an AVA and on 50 points average, that will move you to a 630 credit score. If you're at that 580, a 50-point increase on average will put you around a 630 credit score. So maybe by adding that on, then let that 630 credit score report. Now you're better off by going for a card, maybe like an Apple credit card, where you can get a better interest rate. Okay. So people said accounts like kickoff. Yes, you can use counts like kickoff. Those are an account that you can use, a kickoff account. But one of the things why I do like Ava, they report a 25, you can get a line of credit up to $2,500 to report, and Ava reported within 7 days. Okay. So they report that line of credit fairly quickly compared to a kickoff that might take 30 days. So you can get that. If that reports for you within 7 days, you could see possibly that 50-point increase. All right. And another good thing for you guys to know, banks only trust you as far as the last bank trusts you. So when you guys are getting these credit cards, if you notice, I only got a $300 credit card line. You go and apply for another credit card, they only give to you $300. You're like, man, how can I get a bigger line of credit? One of the ways you can get a bigger line of credit is getting something reporting that's at a larger starting point. So going back to like Ava, it can report a $2,500 line of credit for you. So when you go and apply for that credit card, the last bank is who they kind of believe. They don't believe you. They believe banks only, reporters only. And so what happens, then they say, hey, this company gave you 2,500. Then you know what? We may give you a $2,000, 1,800 credit card, or even match that 2,500 or $3,000 because somebody else trusts you. So this can help you get to those larger lines of credit, because many of you have those little baby credit cards and you keep maxing it out because it doesn't take long to max out $300, or using more than 30% of that credit card is very easy. Okay. So you want to try to get larger credit lines. Another one that you can use is Grow Credit. Now, mind you, Ava and Grow, these doesn't cause a hard inquiry to apply for these credit builder line of credit, and that can help increase your credit score. So Grow Credit is another good one. And we have like Stellify is another one that you can use. And Stellify, over time, a period of time, you can get a trade line. They have you to build up to $25,000. So that's not just instantly you're going to get approved for that $25,000 trade line. Over time, you can build it up that way. So that can be a starting point for you to help you increase your credit score. Now, those are things that you can add on to help increase your score. Now, when you have these kind of credit builders, look at your credit report, you guys. Make sure that you don't have any of those older accounts, like your charge off. You'll see that, or a collection. A lot of them, you might see a CO every month, or they might have ding you with a late payment every month. You want to stop that from happening, because if that is happening, it's designed, they're doing that to keep your credit score down. So understand, your score cannot go up if you have a negative item hitting you every month. Okay. So look at your credit reports and make sure that's not happening to you. Because if it is, you need to dispute it. They're doing it so your score don't go up. So adding anything is not going to help in that situation. You got to stop them from reporting that. Now, it doesn't count if you got a collection and it was over, 3 months ago. Long as it's not dinging you, that adding that line of credit will help your score go up. And like I said, by 50, 49 points on average, 50 points on average. So just make sure nothing is past due. If you got a car and you are past due on your payments, you got to bring that up. You got to bring that up to speed, any open accounts, for this to work. And for my people that's over that 700 credit score, you want to use a different strategy along with this. We want to avoid with you to add that new line of credit. So we might not want to use the AVA and take that approach. Your approach is to go to your current credit card companies and see if you, via a soft pull, to get a increase in your current line of credit. Okay, so see if you can do that. Just make sure that they actually do a soft pull to qualify you. So companies like Navy Fed, if you go into the system and apply for that, it's a soft pull to apply for an increase. Discover, it's a soft pull. Long as you're doing it in the app. Capital One, that's a soft pull. Who else? Chase is a soft pull. American Express is also a soft pull. All right. So with that, we can increase that utilization, debt to available credit, by increasing that line, by getting you a higher line of credit, but it's not going to be a new account to bring your score down. So that is a good option for you guys. All right. So see if you can do that, or you want to start paying down your credit cards if you are, carrying a lot of utilization. All right. And even with that, that goes for everybody. Even if you are a person under that 700 credit score, you got to bring that utilization down, pay down those cards, and make sure you're paying it off before or on that due date. And do not use that card until it reports to your credit report. Okay? Do not, because that due date, generally 4 to 5 days after that, is when they report it to the credit bureaus. After they report it, they can't report anything else after that. It's 30 days. So, truth be told, after that card report, if you pay it down, feel free to max it out. They can't see it. Long as you pay it before it reports the balance again next month. So you will see an increase in your credit score. All right. In my elite credit system, we use Smart Credit, and they have something called Score Boost. So they tell you and will show you how much you need to pay, how many points you can get, and what date to pay it on to make sure you get that increase in your credit score. All right. So if you don't have it and you say, hey, my money's tight, they have a little gauge and it'll show you if you only have $20, how many points, if you pay down on this card, your score go up. And then you might be better off by paying your next credit card with your pay period. And then it'll show you, you might can get, by making this payment, you'll receive 20 points. So make sure you guys over that 700 credit score, you guys try those two options. Ask for that soft pull option to see if you can increase your current credit lines so you don't mess with your age of credit. So that's a strategy for you. And you, if you're under a 700 credit score, you can use the same strategy. But just make sure, y'all, usually if you call in, some of them people will hard pull you. So use the options on the online software and just check to make sure your bank is not is not doing that they your bank is a hard pull. So just make sure your company is not a hard pull. Now, if you're one of those people that's under that 700 credit score and you're around a 680 credit score, or maybe even I'm going to go with 660 credit score and up, a good option for you, and I'm going to go 660. You ain't got nothing to lose, everything to gain. 660 and up. If you are with American Express, see if you are on the private side of American Express, you have one of those cards. If you apply for any other card with American Express, when you are the personal side, not the business side, already on the personal side, they will actually approve you for a new card with a soft pull only. Okay. So that's a tip for y'all, soft pull only. So instead of you looking for another card, if you're trying to make it to that 700 credit score and above, and you're in that I'm going to get that 650, 680 range, those ranges and above, and you're under that 700 credit score trying to get that extra points to put you under 700, see with American Express. And you're going to have to log into your account in the system and then apply for a card. And then it's a soft pull for any approval of their card if you are on the personal side, even for business credit cards, but you have to be on the personal side. Okay. So you can use that approach. If you in that 650 range and up, 680, for all of you guys that don't know, American Express has a apply with confidence tool. So you can go there and apply for a credit card. They will let you know whether you are approved or denied without a hard inquiry. So you can see if you're approved or denied. If you are approved and accept that card, then it turns to a hard inquiry. But for those of you, if you are denied, it's no hard inquiry. So it's no big deal. But if you are approved, guess what? You can take the card. Now, it will turn into a hard inquiry, but that hard inquiry versus the credit boost that you're going to get on an average of 49 points, what's 3 points or 5 points deducted from 50? There's 45 points. So, tomato. And now that you are in American Express on the personal side, at that point, you don't have to get no more hard inquiries again, okay? Because you're on their personal side. And now you can go for your business credit cards, personal credit cards, and it'll be a soft pull approval from that point out. So that will work well for you, okay? So a lot of people I see too is saying utilization. I will talk about next week some strategies for you guys that are struggling with that utilization. But one of the ways that you can, like I said, look at your cards, you guys. If you have utilization going on, your credit cards are not all due on one day. Okay. So let's think this out. What I say, if you got a card that is due on the first of the month and your next card is due at the 10th, aim for the card on the first that got the due date on the first. I told you, usually it'll report in the next 4 to 5 days. So don't use that card. Pay it down. Don't use the card. Once it show up on your credit report, you got to go ahead and use this to do what you got to do. They ain't going to see it no more. Your score go up. They not going to see it. Now, the 10th is coming up. You do the same thing. The next credit card. The 10th. By the 5th, it should report if you pay it down. And then after the 5th, on the 15th, 5 days later, by the 16th, if you need to bust a move, you can use that card now. And your score is going up and it's frozen in time. So that can help you with your utilization showing on your credit report. So you just going to have to use that tactic. I have done that many times. I have threw my whole paycheck on a joint because I had something to do. Okay. I said, I'm going to throw my whole paycheck on this joint. Then once I threw my whole paycheck on it, it report I'm using this card because my paycheck is on the card now. And so I'm using the card. And then I go and apply for what I need to apply for, get approved. Because far as they can see, that card's paid off. My score went up. And that's how you can do with that. But we'll talk next week on other ways that you can capitalize on that, access money, then to pay off those high credit card balances, and then deal with that utilization. Okay. So I have a whole in-depth strategy on how you can do that and then try to not have that show on your credit report, period. But I don't want to, get into that too deep because that's a little more complicated. But I see a lot of people saying utilization. That's one of the things that you can do, okay, for that utilization. Another tip, you guys, a lot of y'all that say, I got late payments. Keep in mind, a late payment that happened over, even like on the personal side of credit, if it's been over 6 months, they don't look at it the same. What I told you, once something negative hits your credit report, as time go on, it doesn't calculate the same. So with late payments, a lot of people get all, in a bunch about that. But if it's over 2 years, they don't even look at it as they don't really even consider it like that. Most banks do understand that in your life cycle, something is going to happen. Life is going to life. All right. So after that sit for a period of time, it's less and less impact on your credit score. Okay. So the only time that's really important, if you're a person that want to go for that business credit, then we need to deal with that. But if it's over 2 years and you don't have anything negative or late payment, it don't even bother you for business credit. So what you can do to balance out those late payments, add on positive payments. How can we add on positive payments? Using these credit card lines. As you pay with your utilization, with these AVAs and all these other things, your credit card, and pay your credit card on time, it's adding on more positive payments for you and helping you with your utilization. Or you can add on aged accounts. Let's add on some backdated age accounts that can help those over a 700 credit score and those that's under. So rent reporter accounts like Rental Kharma, Credit Rent Boost, Boom. Boom is another good one. Now, the one thing I like about Rental Kharma, they will report for you in 3 days. Okay. Rental Kharma also, if you've been living in a unit, the time you've been there, if you've been there for 10 years, they can report those back payments for you for those whole 10 years and your ongoing payments. So y'all can balance out some of those late payments by adding on some past on time payments. That's a way you can do it. Now, they go, the only one I know go all the way back, but they do not report to Experian. All right. So that's their thing. They do report to TransUnion and Equifax. So if you want something to report to all three, Boom will report to all three, but they only report back for 2 years. Okay. 24 months. So you can add that on and your ongoing payments to balance out that negative payment. But with Boom, you must have paid your rent out of your bank account. Okay, so that's a caveat. The great thing about Kharma, they can verify other ways to help you get those payments on. Boom, it's digitized, and they must see that coming out of that bank account. So those are ways you can add on those on-time payment history on positive payments to help you in those two categories, which what I just named, to help you increase your credit score. And you can always piggyback off of somebody else account as an authorized user. You can piggyback off of their good payment history and their utilization. Just keep in mind, if they max out that card, it's going to negatively impact you. And if they miss a payment, it can negatively impact you. So those are some of those tips that can help you. All right. Um, we will like to open the floor really quickly for questions. If anybody have any, you can come up and answer, ask your questions. So Diamond, do you want to come back onto the screen?
Yes. So I'm going to just read off maybe a handful of comments from the chat that we had here. But I did put the link to the StreamYard. So if anybody wants to actually come up and ask their question, please click that link and we'll be able to allow you in. But I'm just going to go through. Triple Threat had a question that said, should I settle a debt or send a verification letter to remove something if I need something removed to get a grant?
Now, if you're saying it's a debt, if it's a collection account, that's when you send a debt validation letter. Debt validation letters is only for collection accounts. So you would send that to the collection company. Okay. You want to be careful with paying third parties, collectors, because if you pay them, you're giving them a right to some company you never did business with. So they may not have legal right to collect on their debt. You need to make them prove that, because if you pay them, you get on that phone, they're recording you, and you start telling them you're going to pay them, it can open you up to a lawsuit. So you want to send a debt validation letter to a collection company. Do not sign it, because they ain't above taking your signature, putting it on a contract. Don't do that. Don't talk to them on the phone. Be careful of what you say. But that's how you handle that. If it's a charge off, it's with your original creditor, most likely that you do know and you did business with, so you can dispute that account. You need to find the errors. Errors in the reporting. Always remember, because an account is true and you owe it, it doesn't mean they can report it. It must be 100% accurate and 100% complete. So to find those inconsistencies in the reporting, you need to find the errors. Look at all three of the bureaus to see if they're reporting that accurately. If you need help with that, the elite credit system will pick up any errors in the reporting of that account within, when you log in, within 2 minutes. So it can create the dispute for you by finding the errors in the reporting of that account. So you can handle that. If you want to settle with your original creditor, Be careful how you're talking to them on the phone, because y'all can open yourself up a lawsuit. There is something called statute of limitation, depending on the type of debt and the limitation in your state. So y'all want to be very careful. Make sure, to my understanding, I paid this. I got to review my records. But if you choose to settle, you want to do a pay for deletion. And you better get that in writing. If they're not willing to do that, I suggest you dispute. So that's how you handle those situations.
Okay, and I see there was a lot of questions about collections. That could possibly be next week's topic. So we will be here.
Well, real quick, because it ain't hard.
Okay, someone
What's
said
Mhm.
if they respond verified and accurate, should they dispute again?
Oh, you mean, okay, they disputed with the collection. I mean, a collection that with the credit bureaus, you need to send a debt validation letter to them, to the collection company directly. So with this, you saying accurate, that means you sent a dispute letter to the three major credit bureaus with collections. They must show they have a legal right to collect on a debt. So you want to send them a debt validation letter directly to the collection company to make them show you proof they bought the debt and they got a legal right to collect. So really quickly, you got a light bill. I cannot show up to your door and knock on the door. This is your light bill. You owe $500. Pay me. This bill, which they respond to, have the electric company name on it. You would call the cops on me. So why are you paying people you don't know? Think about it. Some of y'all are paying these companies, and when you pay them, they got a right to report it, and it will be reported on you for the next 7 years. Be careful, because they do be getting your information and lying. I had a company did it to me, lying. Okay. And when I knew, they sent it to me in the mail, it was for a toll, and I have it set to be paid on my toll on my credit card. So when they sent me the letter, said I owed them $90, a lot of y'all figure I'll pay the $90 and make it go away. It's going to stay in your credit report for 7 years. All right. You better be careful. I called the toll company. Nah, you don't owe us nothing. So they will fraudulently get your information and see if you would be boo boo the fool and pay them, or get on that phone and say, you know what, I could pay. Soon as you do that, they're recording that call and they will take you to court, because now you're doing what? A verbal contract. All of you married folks, all of you folks that got divorced, understand you said I do, and you had to go through a legal process to get up out of that. Okay. So be careful what you're saying on that phone. Send them a certified letter with that debt validation letter. Okay. And demand that they show you they got a legal right to collect on the debt. We have them in on our website if you need those collection debt validation letters. And keep in mind, y'all, if it's a medical collection, if it's under $500, if you pay those, now they have to remove it. But be careful with them too, because number one, if they send you back as a response, a bill like most of them do, that's a HIPAA violation. They are not supposed to have your personal private information. And if they have it, even at that medical facility, if you sign like them doctors be having you to do, they still have to store your private health information, that third party collector, in a certain way. Okay. It must be secured by um what is that? The department that oversees HIPAA. I forgot. It's not OSHA. It's another department, but they can get a $2 million fine if they're in violation of that. So we do have a letter. Number one, you ask them to verify the debt. Then when they send you back, then go and send you back that bill. Then our second response is letting them know that, are you in violation by having my health information of HIPAA? Show proof that you're compliant. and many a times they'll let that go. Okay, so be careful even with them, because what it could be, your insurance company might have paid them. So always call your insurance company to make sure they did not pay on that claim. Okay, another one, Diamond.
Yes, yes. There was one about consolidation and if consolidation was effective. I'm looking for the comment to
And
put it.
now, if you're saying debt consolidation companies, with those companies, you got to be aware of those, y'all, because they will sit up there and make agreements and tell you not to pay your bills and tear your credit score down. Okay. I had somebody in my group. She kind of went through that process, and unfortunately, they made a deal, and uh she was paying every month, and the original creditor kept reporting the account late. And it's not much you can do because you made an agreement. Those companies that are nonprofit, they get paid, and for from grants and stuff like that. So they're really not incentivized for the long term resolve. If you want to consolidate that debt, you might better see if we can use some strategies so you can get a loan and then pay off that high interest debt to clear up those credit cards and reduce that high interest on those cards. And that can help increase your credit score because it clear up that utilization in that 30% category. So hopefully that'll help.
If there's any more questions, please do put it in the chat. Why do the original creditors keep calling if they charge off the debt?
They might still have it. They might have not sold it and might want a possible way to see if they can negotiate on that to get you to pay it. Depending, you guys, on how long ago. If that's an older account, if it can be reactivated and restored, you might want to consider that. Sometimes you don't want to burn everybody. Navy Fed, pay them folk. You know, American Express, if you don't want to be in the ghetto of credit card life all your life, maybe try to pay them folk. Chase, maybe try to pay them folk. So you don't want to burn everybody all the time. I have a lot of people that get this stuff off their credit, and then they surprised when these companies don't want to deal with you. You didn't pay them folk. So think about that. Their strategy, even on who you want to burn. Okay, I don't give a damn about paying who Capital One. I could care less about my relationship with Capital One. I'll be honest. I don't like them that much. I really don't. So they can get the deuces. A First Premier. Deuces. You know, they ain't nothing but a voucher. I ain't gonna pay you. You know what I'm saying? So them, but other folk, you might want to pay if you want to do business again. Okay, pay. You better pay. You better pay Navy Fed. Please don't be burning them folk. Let's play. Let's just not play with Navy Fed. You doing yourself a disservice. Pay them folk. Okay, pay them folk and tell them to pay me because I'm telling them to y'all to pay them. Pay me. Call them up and say Sherry said to pay you. Can y'all pay me now? All right, but pay them.
Real quick, well, we have
Oh no,
Miss.
we got somebody. Let them up.
Yes, we have Miss Taylor coming up. But real quick, Mom, before we let Miss Taylor up, can you please quickly talk about the elite credit system and how it works? Because we had someone ask that question. How does the elite credit system work?
Well, basically, what you do with the elite credit system, it will scan your credit reports and find all the errors in your credit reporting. And that's the key to get items off your credit report. So it'll find all the credit errors because it must be 100% accurate and 100% complete. And you just click a button and it create a dispute for you. Now, if you do have some nuances or some paperwork that you want to add, it also allows you to customize your dispute. And we have certain strategies in the videos in the system with the coaching. And along with that, we do Zoom coaching Every Saturday, I'm there. I'm pulling up. And then I can look at your joint and kind of tell you what you need to do and how to approach it, what's going on with you. So that's why it helps us find those errors in that reporting to help make you getting that a little easier. And if you need to, you find those errors, then you got the proof to take to the CFPB and they oversee the credit bureaus. So that's how that works.
Yes, and I wanted to add in one more part that you missed out, just really quick. Anyone that is an elite credit system member has the opportunity to do a one-on-one sit down with Sherry to look over your personal credit. So, but that is exclusive for elite
And
members.
another thing we need to add, I'm glad that you said that. Also, like I said, you get the Smart Credit is a score provider, so you get to use their tools like Score Boost. Score Boost is the truth. I even used it. I paid my little subscription to it, and it really tell you what date to remind you. They even send you emails. This card payment is coming up. Make sure you pay your card. This helps you with your managing your utilization on your card. And they actually have identity theft insurance up to $1 million to cover people in your household. So if you're a victim of identity theft, they do give you an insurance attached to that. So that's helpful.
Okay, now I'm going to bring up Miss Taylor to the stage so
Yeah.
that she can ask her question.
Oh, thank you.
How are
Hi.
you, Miss Teller? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
And you too. Thank you. Your daughter's beautiful, and so are you. I see where she
Thank
get it
you.
from.
I'm so glad to see you. And I want to know what are you dealing with? What's the challenges that you're dealing with
Right.
so we can get them out of the way this year?
Yeah, definitely. I have been working on my own credit report,
Oh,
and I haven't been following like a system in which I need. Which when I get off here with you, that's one of my goals. Was sign up with the elite. Now I was at a 400 at the beginning. I
okay.
went from a 400 to now it's over a little over 600. Say six.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yes. And it was so easy because about all of the negative items at this point are over the statute of limitation. I went in and I basically deleted all of my old addresses, names that did not identify who I am, and all that personal information. After that, everything else fell off.
That's one of the keys.
Everything else fell off except credit acceptance. Now, credit acceptance is so easy. It's just a point I think they want me to challenge them, which I'm not going to challenge them. It's been 7 years this new year. It's going on 7 years. They have been reporting late payments, and which we know are already in a class action suit.
Mm-hmm.
So that alone, I don't have to deal with them. I'm going to deal with the boroughs to remove it off of my report. Due to the fact that it's not only that it's inaccurate information, it's over the limitation, it's done. And it's the only thing that is hindering me from being able to purchase my vehicle. I'm a real estate agent, and I also work for DHS 9 to 5. So it's been kind of challenging for me without a system. Well, with that being said, being that you're saying we can customize the letters, that's awesome. Because I'm
Now,
gonna
how many rounds have you did so far? How many times you disputed that with the bureaus?
okay. Now to be honest with you, after I seen that everything fell off,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to go right into the gun hole yet. Because with them, as you know, with their policy,
Mm-hmm.
when you sign up with them, you actually waive your right to sue them. And if I'm going to go for them to remove this information, and have to go after them, You know what I'm saying? With the CFBP, I have to unsubscribe, and that's where I'm stuck. I
Well, this
don't.
is what you want to do with credit acceptance. This is probably to a car loan, repossession, or something in that category.
Well, what happened is, they're predatory. And listen, the third day I had the vehicle with a 23,000 mile. It was like a 2018 Nissan Versa. The third day I took it off the lot, the muffler fell off. From there, the vehicle went down. Now, with that being said, they already jacked up the price and told me I had bumper to bumper. When that muffler fell off and I took it to them, they had it in the shop for like 3 weeks. So I had to go to the shop with the cops. The long story short, after that, the vehicle went down to the point where I was taking out loans just to ride the vehicle. They told me I had a bump.
Would probably be this is what is your best option. So given the fact they already are caught on some issues, you need to, number one, dispute with the credit bureaus. So dispute that account, because sometimes if it's over that limit of time where they can report, they'll keep it on there if you don't dispute. And for yours, it's over 7 years. This need to come off. So that's number one. Number two, if that don't come off, you really do need to send a certified letter. We have a particular repo letter for repossessions. Here's the things with repossession and why I'm going to give you some game with this. You kind of want to get some documentation. When they're caught by the CFPB, they pay them a fine. So when it say they must pay $26 million, that go to a fund, a readiness fund for victims like you. You can get some of that money. They put money aside for you. So you might want to build, you know what I'm saying, a case.
Right.
So you can present to the PFBB, you're one of the victims. So number one, you want to dispute. You must dispute under law. Sometimes that's your thing you got to do. They got to see that you dispute. And then two, you want to kind of send in that repo letter, because with a repossession, they must give you some things. They must, number one, give you a chance to redeem and get that car back. So they have to let you know how much is due so you can get the car back. Then two, they supposed to tell you when they send that car to auction, they supposed to give you an opportunity to be there to see when that car is sold, how much it's sold for. Because if they get the whole value of the car, what do they have to come after you for? You see what I mean?
True.
So if you owe, let's say $10,000 and they sold the car or was able to auction it, and then they got $8,000, that's $2,000 that's owed, because they recouped the rest of that money. So I owe $2,000, but they might be pursuing you for still $10,000 or $12,000. Well, where is this coming from? So you want them to send you the original contract. That you want to get your hands on that. You want the whole billing history, and you want proof that they sent you those certifieds then to come to be able to be at the auction, and to make sure that contract that they sent you gave you a chance to redeem that car. They got to show you the proofs now. Where's that? Not I'm sending it to you now. You back then, 7 years ago, do they got that paperwork? Pretty hard to have that paperwork to have that proof, because if not, you want to get this, you can get a consumer lawyer. They can be in violation of your state rights too. On your state level, you want to get that paperwork and you can submit it to the CFPB, and you may be entitled to some of that money. They're sitting, the CFPB, when they find them companies like that, they're putting money aside for victims like you. So if I was you to get that off, It's over the 7 years. You do got to dispute. You know what I'm saying? You want to dispute. You got to let the bureaus tell them it's over time. But you want to get your information and documentation off of their butt too, because they already been called in the wrong. You ain't really ducking and hiding. I know it. They've been called on by the CFPB. Go, girl. You better go and get your evidence so you can get some change. If
Let me ask you something, because I abandoned the car back in 2018, because it was an accident. So now it's on my report as their name, and then under their name they have collection. What that means, I have no idea.
Nah, if it's a collection, it's a third party reporting that.
Right, but it doesn't show a third party. It just say the word collection under their name.
Their name?
Their name, credit acceptance, collection.
Did you check all 3 bureaus?
Yes.
Okay, so under the charge off, what does it say? Is it a charge off with credit acceptance and then a separate collection?
It's not a charge off. It's their name, right? And they're reporting late payments and have been since the car was in an accident in 2018. Is when I stopped making payments.
It sounds like it's a third party reporting as them. You need to send that documentation directly to credit acceptance to see if they sold it to a third party. That make it easier. That make it so much easier. If they got a third party reporting in their name, you want to get that documentation, because a collection should not be reporting late every month.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So you definitely want to get that information.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sign up with the system, right? And then, of course, the system is going to make that stand out as a negative and need to be worked on. And it also, it has the different letters in which a way I need to, like you said, dispute it.
This is what I want you to do, Ms. Taylor, before Saturday. Sign up. So if you sign up on Friday, come see me on Saturday. I got you.
Oh, thank you, Dave. I appreciate you. I'm going to sign up tonight.
Oh, yeah, and just tap in. Just tap in. And me and you.
Yes. I got to get this vehicle. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to get this vehicle because I have training soon, and I got to drive my buyers around. And I have to get around. I can't get around on this public transportation here in Pennsylvania after work, and it's going to be late. So, yeah, my goal is to get this vehicle within 30 days. And what I want to do is go through my Navy Federal credit union to get the loan, or my DCU credit union.
Well, what you do is me and you will strategize. We'll look at things. If you're going to be a real estate agent, another thing, let's see what's on if everything fell off, you don't have any late payments, maybe you want to glide on to business credit. That's what I'm telling y'all. You are in real estate with business credit. It be in the business name and it don't show up on you. You get a credit card. There's ways, if we can get you going, you can get a vehicle or make moves to get a vehicle in your business name. So, the game is sometimes sold and not told. There's some things online. Offline.
I appreciate you.
Ain't told online.
Yes. I know that's right. I appreciate you so much, and thank you. I don't want to take up too much time from the others.
No, but I'm just telling you, Miss Taylor, the reason why we can't say everything, up front, some things, if you tell everybody, it's for nobody. If it's for everybody, it's for nobody. So there is some strategies. If we start talking too much, it closed the door. So I know I'm dead serious. Some things is for public consumption, but there's some strategies.
Got you.
You got and it's legal. Don't think y'all it's illegal at all. I'm always legal. I'm just telling y'all, too much saying stuff. This is why some of y'all, these videos be put out and banks ain't working with you no more, because people run up in there. So some things got to be gate kept. Some lenders got to be gate kept, or some approaches got to be gate kept, because when it get out here, and everybody run up in it, then the bank shut them down because it's too many at one time coming in.
Right, I got you.
You got
But
me.
yeah, definitely, we definitely have to work together so that I'm sure everything will just go smooth sailing.
It's going, we going to do what it do, and a lot
Okay.
of, we got a couple of people in the system. It's been people in 90 days. One of our Diamond, one of our good members. I always got to shout out Miss Reed. She's Miss Reed. Been with us for a while. My boy Lawrence. I love Lawrence. Lawrence, 3 months came in, cleared up. He was one of the first people, the joint cleared up, and Lawrence just been there and kept excelling. And a lot of people just for the value of the information. So a lot of our Zoom meetings that we have, it's our powwows. And so we just information. Lawrence got business credit. Lawrence, Diamond got his vehicle for his business, and he closed, upper 700 credit scores, and he was there within 3 months, with his situation, and just was able to, we me and her, even on the business side, work together for people long-term goals. And that's why I said at the beginning, everybody ain't trying to get to the same place. So with you're going in business, you have a different place that you're trying to go with it. And that's why we want y'all to identify your goals, because depending on what you want, you can get there really quickly. We just need to strategize the best way. And a lot of people stay, and with the business side, because we have the elite business circle, and help them to get to the business credit too. So
Right.
I look forward to meeting you, and I'll see you on Saturday.
Oh yes, you will. My broker's gonna I'm gonna hook up and get the LLC started as well. So that way, yeah, it'll
And you
look
can help maybe with our Philly people. We're not trying to gatekeep. We want, if you're going in business, and we have a lot of people in our group, they're servicing other people. You know what I'm saying? They help other people. And the one thing that me and Diamond are bigger on, y'all, it's about community, right? So a lot of people, what I told even the group today, y'all are one piece of information from being Elon Musk. That's it. Information is key, y'all. You're one piece of information from being a Jeff Bezos. You just really need to connect, right? And one thing is, you don't want to go off of stale information. Information is changing all the time. So we're looking for people to come in. They are in, like you are in real estate, at a real estate license there in Pennsylvania. You can provide information, and then we can even refer, clients to you, because then to help people, to help them, and it helps you to get a home, and then it's helping you to get more customers. And as you learn, other people learn. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, that's a network. That's a network. Yeah.
That's the network, and that's how we operate.
Thanks. I appreciate you so much. And I definitely, like I said, is going to sign up with this elite and get this thing rolling. Okay. So 2025, yeah, this is my year. Okay. It's
What they
my
say, New Year's a new me, but I want y'all to tap in. All my people that's on here. I see Miss Wilson, she was in the meeting today. Lord God, our meeting went 6 hours. That is totally unusual, y'all. But we went deep in this one, and we had a lot of information. Usually it's an hour. Trust me, we don't do y'all like that all the time. But when we have time, it was a lot of information flowing, and they were contributing. It was really like a mastermind. So just let y'all know, if y'all are currently part of the system, if y'all haven't came to the meeting, can y'all please show up just one time this month, please? Because please utilize that. Don't miss. I know everybody have different time schedules, but so I can make sure, if things ain't working right, we can correct it. Don't waste your time. You know what I'm saying? Don't think like me and Diamond, the last thing, we have a heart that we want to see y'all win too. We're not doing this that we want to just like be vultures or stuff like that. We're here to give value. You know what I'm saying? So when we talk about Maslow hierarchy of needs, this is our actualization. You know, we want to kind of give back to people. We want other people's lives to be better, you know. So I really we can't stand when y'all don't tap in to a service you paying for. So come on over and see me. I'm there, you know. So please come on in. And somebody said one time, I'll do it 1 p.m. Central Time. So for your East Coast people, that's 2 p.m. And we got a lot of people on the West Coast. That's around like what 10 somewhere. So I try to do it in a time that we get everybody, because there's a lot of West Coast people. And this is why I started this time, because I try to, you know, with the West Coast, I know I'm from the East Coast, and you know, you got Central Time, and even with me, I'm back and forth doing different things. And so I try to do a, you know, a time schedule so everybody can get the information. We make sure that it's comfortable for everybody. All right.
Perfect. Perfect. I like that. So yeah,
yeah.
we gotta sign up, and then we're gonna see to continue talking Saturday. So
Yeah,
yeah, I
y'all
look
get
forward.
the email. Y'all get the email. Okay. So we send the email and you just come into the private Zoom meeting that we have. Once you get the link, come in and we get started.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's gonna be like this evening, during this time, because for me, I also work 9 to 5 with DHS,
Okay.
and this is perfect. Like,
Oh,
yeah,
not this time. We do it at 1 p.m. on and
afternoon
yeah, and Saturday. That would be 2 p.m. for you.
for Eastern.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that I wouldn't be able to attend that one, but
Listen, no, this what you do. I don't know if you at work. Even if you put your earphones in, just let me know. What time is your break?
usually my lunch is 12 to 1 an hour, and I just got this promotion. So with that being said, yeah, it's like a lot of training that I have to listen to.
Gotcha.
Okay. This
So yeah,
what we do with you. What I want you to do, once you sign up, email me. And this is what I do with a lot of people. I'll connect with you. We'll get you connected, and then I can see the situation myself and tell you what it is. All right. And I will make sure I get with you. All right. So anybody, even if y'all time schedule is whatever, all y'all do is shoot me an email and I can look at what's going on. Cause once you sign up, then I can see, you know what I'm saying? What the issue is at that point. And then I can let you know what need to be done. And if me and you, if I have to call you, we have a conversation, we can do it. And then if I need some filling in, and then get you what you need. So most of the times I know this be a lot to consume. So we kind of like to put in a writing so y'all have the email to refer back to.
Yeah.
perfect. All right,
All
thank you,
right.
Diamond. Thank you,
Thank
Sherry.
All right. Have a nice night, Miss Taylor.
Baby, I love you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
you.
Look to working with you.
Yes, you too.
I
All
wanted
right,
to tell
everyone.
everyone, if you did not get your questions answered tonight, we will be back next Saturday. We will be doing this for the rest of January and January only. Also, it would be good for you to join the elite credit system, because these are the type of conversations that go on in the elite credit system every single Saturday nonstop. But this will stop at the end of January. But we also do have a Facebook group that I'm leaving you guys the link, so that if you did not get your questions answered, go ahead, go over to the Facebook group, ask your questions, and then we'll start replying to you in there. And also, it'll probably be easier for us to go ahead and give you all the links to everything we talked about there, because I know the chat is moving. So just wanted to let you guys know that, but we kind of have to leave you on a cliffhanger, and we are looking forward to see you all next Saturday.
And thank y'all. We appreciate your time. We really do. So
Yeah.
enjoy your evening and be safe. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. God bless.